Okay, I'm back. I feel like I've been on a washing machine for the last week. I've just finished up my Paxlovid. I finished it yesterday morning. I tell you, I feel bizarre, man. I'm not sure how I feel, but I tell you, I feel like I've been in a dryer for a week. I'm in like a parallel universe or something. Oh boy. Let me let me show you this here.
237, outbound at 136.
237, how can I help?
I have a passenger who is trying to sell drugs to people on the bus, African American. He's wearing a white t-shirt. He got on around downtown and have a good day. Just walked in, and he's been asking people for money, and every time new people come on, he's been asking people for money, for lighters, wants to buy a lighter, wants to sell drugs.
Okay, have you asked him to, we can't sell things on the bus like that, does he just not pay attention?
The last time that I asked an African American man to please stop doing something, I ended up with PTSD and off work for 2 months. I was ganged up on.
All right, I'll let your supervisor know and have him meet you en route. So just don't make contact with him, okay?
Will do, thanks. Uh, 237 outbound at 162nd.
237, I got the priority. What's up?
So same guy, been striking a lighter, and then all of a sudden I smell something, like somebody smoking something on the bus. I did approach him. I got off the bus. We were at a stop, and I said, "Are you smoking something back here?" And he says, "No, I'm just playing with my lighter." But several other passengers that are back there shook their head. Yes, he is. So he's been lying to me. He's saying he's not doing anything, but he's smoking drugs on my bus. And so I do need to have somebody come and get him off.
Okay, so area supervisor's aware. Do you need to tie it up where you're at?
Well, I'm going to keep going because people, need to get somewhere. But I mean, I'm up here. I don't know what the hell he's smoking, and he's in like towards the back of the bus, and I can smell it here. I'm breathing in whatever drugs he's smoking.
Okay, supervisor, he's heading your way. So go ahead and roll, and he'll just meet you en route. Hopefully, he'll catch you by 181 or so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
237 at 170th.
I'm going to actually tie you up because if he's smoking anything that's going to affect you in any way, then I can't have that. So let me know your next spot, but you're going to be tied up.
174th.
Okay, so tie it up there. If he deboards the bus, close your doors and roll and send me ready for service, so I know. But only if the bus does not smell of any substance, okay?
You got it.
All right, thank you. 902.
Because you're running late. You're already 10 minutes late. 9 minutes late. 16. So I've got another black passenger calling me racist because I'm pulled over.
Okay, well, you can let them know that dispatch pulled you over. You didn't make that decision on your own, and that I'm holding you there. Supervisor is about, it looks like 10, 12 blocks away.
Okay, he just had a fit. He's off the...
Let me just stay on with you. Your followers coming up behind you, let me make sure they're going to stop, and they'll get passengers that need to go. Supervisor looks like they're turning from 182 to Division right now.
Okay, Okay, the sooner the better.
I hear you. Give me a description of him. I'm calling police right now as well. Supervisor's almost there.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Can you give me a description? I've got blackmail and it's the one with the white t-shirt, or is it a different one?
Okay, the first one's off the bus and he's walking away. The second one is on the bus. He's also got a white t-shirt on and he's got a dark hat on.
Okay, supervisor should be arriving right now.
Okay, that would be great. Thanks.
All right, thank you. 907.
Okay, the 4507 just got here and everybody's getting on that bus. You want to let them know?
9102.
9102.
Yeah, I need somebody to come get this bus. This driver is in no shape to drive. They're a mess right now. They've just been verbally abused by all these passengers, so I can't drive the bus back. We just need to figure out a way to find somebody to come drive the bus back.
Copy 913. Extra service 767.
767 205 northbound at Powell.
And the reason I played that was because
about us building partnerships and coalitions to address some of the issues out there.
see, I played that because these idiots are building partnerships and coalitions. So I mean, these idiots sitting in this desk here, these unaccountable, unentitled elites that live in a world that's completely divorced from the reality that everybody else lives, is talking about partnerships. And we're hearing the real world experience of people riding the system, driving the system. I mean, you have a complete breakdown in relations between drivers and riders. They hate each other. They hate each other. I've never seen anything like this. It's like turned into a war between the drivers and the riders, and the management has created a lot of this with their policies. And now that they've created this nightmare, they have these fools, this guy and this guy, two fools, pretending they're doing anything about security. Meanwhile, I feel like I've been in a dishwasher for a week. Okay, so I can imagine what else other people have been through this. Meanwhile, the whole world's falling apart, and these idiots are in some alternate reality. And we're stuck watching this shit, man. It's like watching Zelensky going around the world talking to all these other fucking bozos while fucking Ukraine is burning up. I mean, we have a parade of idiots like these guys enjoying their lives, going to their ridiculous meetings while the world is burning. Okay, these people have nothing to do with what's happening on the ground at TRIMET. They're completely divorced from reality. It's insulting.
I won't go into too many specifics. I'll just say this, that like, for example, bridges. Bridges can be very difficult because we have operational concerns with operating across bridges, and there's fires, there's impacts that with folks in the right-of-way, things that we as a transit agency from a safety security standpoint cannot have because they will create bad outcomes, and we have the data to support that. And so how do we make that message very clear to partners who might have control over those areas so that we can moderate that together? And I'll tell you, we've been doing some very good efforts along these lines in certain strategic areas where we've had consistent issues, bringing folks like the county, PBOT, UPRR at times together. And
they're bringing all the failed governmental units. Every single which one of them has failed. and they're talking to each other. So you have all these failed government units communicating and doing nothing. And all of the people involved are getting six-figure salaries for doing nothing. It's insulting.
Kind of championing a specific area, doing things like boulder placement. You'll start to see that out underneath some of the bridge encampments so that there aren't fires underneath bridges. For obvious reasons, we can't, that isn't a tolerable thing from a risk standpoint for this agency. Working with those other community leaders, I'm on a lot of different
Community misleaders. There's no leaders in the community that are of any use to you. They're all sociopaths, including these two.
groups now. I speak a lot with the city of Portland. There's different groups related to Pioneer Courthouse Square, PMMI boards. It's really important. The federal employees got a return to work group. The city of Portland have a return to work group. And I participate on those, as do members of my staff, because a lot of times what comes up.
Oh, look, they're participating on their little groups. Do you see how insulting this is? I hope you see it as clearly as I do. How absolutely insulting all of this is.
Up is well, the system isn't safe, so I don't want to come back and work in the city core, etc. So we want to really be there and available to work through the issues that are making people feel unsafe. And I'll tell you, we meet with a lot of success at that, because a lot of people are kind of being reintroduced to a new reimagined public safety with a lot more investment in things like increased presence technology, et cetera. And so we can partner well with other agencies. But your point is well taken in the sense some of the issues that are out there necessitate greater community involvement to help us at TriMet do transit well. So we're at the table and we make those.
What a goddamn joke these people are. What a disgrace.
Connections wherever we can. We do have some successes. I don't know if you want to, anything from your perspective, John?
No, I think it was brought up earlier about subcommittees and work groups. Reimagine is a subcommittee of TIAC.
Subcommittees and work groups. Yeah, that's what we do. Subcommittees and work groups of useless bureaucrats. Look at his face. Smart ass. What a fuck. Subcommittees and subgroups.
Yeah.
The reduced fare program exists because it was a subcommittee of TIAC. So that is where you can actually engage the community.
You're so generous. The reduced fare program. We're so generous. We give you a reduced fare. Meanwhile, I'm making $300,000 a year. Disgusting.
And develop community informed strategies to make for better outcomes. And I think this is a really good example. I mean,
I just showed you an outcome. Okay.
Previous meeting.
The outcome is the driver's off on work comp forever and probably finished. There is no security on your system, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. This is all lies and smoke screens.
Things Andrew shared with you, some of the outcomes of the SRT. These are amazing referrals to services for folks that would not have gotten those services.
What's he talking about? There's no referrals for services. All we hear is ditches. This is all lies. Everything coming out of their mouth is nothing but lies. There'll be referrals for services. Where? I don't see it. Where?
3 years ago. So 48 folks on the system today providing light touch social services is an amazing outcome. And that's all informed by
a light touch. It's nothing. 48 people out of 600 buses and 200 trains. It's like one person per 8 trains, per 8 vehicles. It's called window dressing, folks. It's a fake.
Our conversations with the community. So sometimes subcommittees can work.
Conversation with the community. I'd be smug too if I was making $300,000 a year for doing nothing.
Thank you. You mentioned PBOT. Is ODOT involved in those conversations as well?
Yes.
Because they have some thoroughfares that are actually in the city also.
Yes, they are. And, we have state safety oversight from ODOT, too, from a safety perspective as well. And so we have some different kind of channels of communication with ODOT, which we try to make very effective in kind of dealing with some of these issues. But ODOT is at the table, and they have to be because they're involved in so many different areas. I will say, too,
Okay. There's 645 buses and 147 light rail vehicles. Okay, so that's 600. So that's about 800 vehicles, 800 total vehicles. So let's figure that out, okay? So they got 800 vehicles, okay, and they're operational, okay, and they got 48 people out on the system. So 800 vehicles divided by 48. That means they got one person on every 16 vehicles. And that's what they call safety and security.
When I took this position on January of last year, and even through the pandemic, partnerships in this region have kind of fallen apart in some ways. And I'm just being honest here from a standpoint of there's a lot of people that are just not as connected as they used to be. So we're really trying to make those partnerships as an agency. And I honestly think we at TriMet are out in front on that, kind of
We're out in
dragging.
front. We're the best. Rah, just move by. We're number one. We're the best in the world. We're better than Tokyo, better than Hong Kong, better than London, better than Switzerland. We're the best. We're the best because I say so.
People to different conversations and them being very thankful that they were brought there. You know what I mean? So, so we'll continue to do that.
Which is
Yeah,
nonsense.
thank you for that.
Wow.
Director Kim?
Not a question, but a comment. Thank you so much, Andrew and John, for this work and the rest of the staff.
Yeah, thank
As
you.
we,
Your wonderful work. You work so fucking hard, you motherfuckers, in your six-figure salaries in your office. You worked hard. Thank you.
as a transit agency, safety and security really is the foundation of everything that we're doing. Without a safe transit system, we would not be even having a conversation about.
What? They're talking nonsense. This is nonsense. It's never-ending nonsense coming out of these people's mouths.
How much to charge for the transit, right?
It's not worth anything. It's worth zero. You should be paying people to get on there. You should be paying people to ride your crap system.
So I thank you for this work. Moving forward, I'd like to see us more focus more on truly the safety of our riders and operators. Right? We already do that, but perhaps we can, instead of 3,500 cameras, right? Kind of scary. Could be for some folks. But if we can show the story of how that's impacting, how that's making our riders and operators safer, I think those stories would be more impactful. And folks who could have a negative perception without the full picture of how this is going to help me as a rider, how this is going to help me as a operator, could be a stronger, I think, supporter for this. But really, thank you for this, and I think the same goes for increasing the number of our staff on this particular team. I'm supportive of this work, but again, I do understand from certain snippets, from certain angle of listening, they're increasing more, safety officers, that could have a negative perception. So, if we could really focus on how much more of a benefit we're bringing to the riders, I think it'd be helpful. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
Director Lewis?
Thank you. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to add two comments. One is the reason that partnerships, you had commented on partnerships, could be, and I'm finding with other groups, the players that were at the table are no longer there.
That's right.
And so,
The partnerships with your communities doesn't mean anything to average people on your system, you fucking idiots. Are you that fucking disconnected from reality that you don't realize that the people that are riding your system has nothing to do with any of this? Nothing. It has nothing to do with real people.
and the pandemic sent folks into retirement. And so
The scamdemic upended the whole world and changed the whole world for the worse, and now we're all fucking dying and poor. And then we have this whole class of elite sociopaths that are all sitting around here sucking off the tits of the taxpayers.
it's going to take time, and not to be discouraged, but it will take time to build new partnerships. Sometimes you have the opportunity now to create that partnership to look different and to add components that were not there before. So there's pros and cons, but a lot of it is not at the table. And then my other comment was for my fellow board member, Kathy. A lot back to the technology. The technology also is a big way to triage. Having cameras even more places than we already do. And
Cameras do not prevent crimes. Come on. Are you people dumb? Maybe they can help solve crimes if they even bother solving petty crimes anymore. You need actual security personnel on the ground. That's what you need. None of this shit. You need none of this stuff.
and increasing that gives eyes to those, it's the triage component to where to go, when to do it, and what's happening. And
What
that's
the fuck is the matter with you? You have a call come in. Okay, here's a call. There's a guy freaking out on the bus. Now you get somebody out there. Okay, why is this so hard for you to figure out? Why have you over bureaucratized this?
That's a huge component in safety and security, is sending people blindly into situations. So the more technology, the better
The
our
whole fucking world existed long before there was technology, lady, and it was a lot safer before technology. Look at it now. Now it's just a giant mess.
technology, the better the eyes and the better way that we can be safe in doing what we're doing.
Oh,
And so it's getting there, but I'm glad to
this is
see
just
that we're increasing the cameras. I'm on the crash committee, and I get the recording of 15 different camera views, and it makes a big difference of how, because two people can see the same incident and see two different things. And so camera and technology is
Yeah, when it
important.
comes to crash, of course. We're talking about safety. Like psychotic people on the train, dispossessed all over the place.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so I turn it back to General Manager DeSue.
All right, that's
Andrew and John, thank you
all
both.
right.
Thanks
I
for the
can't take any more of that. That's God, Jesus. Can you believe the stupidity of these people?